Hello, my name is Matt Oswald, and I am the tech lead for the NRE Labs project. This is a quick tour of the brand new revamped NRE Labs experience. You'll notice we're at a new domain now, nrelabs.io, so it's nice and short and easy to remember. So if you want to follow along, feel free to head over there and check it out. First things first, we think that there's really cool things in here for both learners as well as people who want to contribute to the project. So we'll start with the former. The new lesson interface is totally revamped and totally thought and optimized. So we invested a lot of time into thinking how we can improve the experience of interacting with a lesson, as well as making sure that the real estate on the screen is well accounted for. So you'll notice that there's actually a lot of reduction of noise in the new interface, and we think that that's a really useful thing for people to learn properly. So minimizing distractions and only focusing on the content. Much like the old interface, though, we still have tabs where you have a terminal system embedded right in the browser, so you don't have to set anything up yourself. You just go to this page. All of that is still true. So you go to the Linux 1-CLI. You have a tab here, Linux 1 CLI 2, so two CLIs to the same box. You also have a CLI to a VQFX device in this lesson, and we've even created a way to expose web content directly inside of the lesson, which is pretty cool. And so here we're looking at the Junos REST API Explorer as an example. So yeah, and much like the old experience, again, we wanted to make sure we preserve this. You don't have to know anything. That's kind of the whole idea behind NRE Labs. We don't assume that you know anything or that you're comfortable at sort of the bash command line, for instance, or running Python snippets. So we still allow you to click run this snippet on some of these code examples if you'd like, or you can type them in directly. It's kind of up to you. So we're pretty excited about this. Now, back to the main site, if you click Find Lesson Content in the top right, or if you're in a lesson like I was, you can click that button and it says Exit. It'll take you here to the lesson catalog. So if you want to know where to find any lesson that we currently have in the site, and of course, this catalog is growing all the time. It's open source on GitHub, so we take PRs to this all the time. So it's always growing, but if you want to see the current catalog, you can go here to this page. Now, if you remember the old format, we've kind of we still have the same categorization method, but we're working on improving this as well, where you have different categories of lessons. So if you just want to start from the basics, you can start with fundamentals, and these teach you some of the things that you might want to know for using other more advanced tools. So introduction to YAML, learning how to do version control with Git, understanding how to write Bash. The one we just looked at is introduction to REST APIs. These are all sort of fundamental ideas and concepts that you might want to learn. From there, you can move into tools, and these are sort of Tool 101 lessons. Like if you want to get started with Ansible, you might want to go to this Ansible for network automation. That's a pretty cool new lesson that we're releasing as part of this relaunch. And then finally, workflows. This is the same concept as before. These are sort of use case specific. If you have a particular use case in mind, for instance, compliance validation for regulatory, for regulations is a big deal, and that's a particular workflow that we have tackled in the curriculum thus far. Now, if you are new to NRE Labs and maybe you have some content that you'd like to share, or you'd like to get involved in the community in some other way, maybe you're a software developer and you want to work on the software behind the scenes, that's all totally possible. And so back to the homepage, you can see we have just the homepage introducing the site. If you want to see the video introducing the site, you can click that if you'd like. Moving on to the About section, this is sort of the history of NRE Labs and why we are building this project, the kind of problem that we're looking at solving, making it easier to consume automation, making it easier to take that very first step along that journey. You can also go to the right and you can see we have links to our lesson catalog where we just were. If you want to follow us on Twitter, you can click that as well, and then a discussion to our community forums, but there's a few other places we can link to that. Second, our community tab. So one of the things we wanted to do was make sure that if you did want to get involved in the NRE Labs project, that all of the resources that you needed to do that were in one place. And so here you can find everything. There's links to our weekly community stand-up, so a link to the discussion forum where we post updates on that. So if you want to join our Zoom-based weekly stand-ups, you can do that. Link to our community forums is the same site, but more generally to our discussions. So if you want to discuss anything with respect to the NRE Labs project, that's where you can find that. You can, of course, follow us on Twitter if you wish. if you're looking at contributing, which is awesome because we allow contributions and encourage contributions to every aspect of the site, whether it's the software behind the scenes as well as the curriculum itself. All of the resources you need to get started are there, whether you're looking to get involved with the curriculum, the platform, or even if you're a non-developer and you just want to work on, say, some of the documentation, or you want to provide some copy editing. All of that is welcome, and you can go there if you'd like. Finally, if you'd like to look at our governance document or our code of conduct, those are linked here as well. We invested a lot of time into building governance documents that are appropriate for the community, and we're pretty proud of that. You can also look at our latest videos. So obviously, if you want notified of these, the best place is to go follow us on YouTube. But if you want a quick summary, this page has a sort of rotating RSS feed style of videos. And anytime we post a YouTube video, it automatically gets posted here. So that's pretty cool. And then finally, we have an event calendar. Our stand-up is here. Anytime we have other events, like if we have people speaking about NRE Labs at a conference, for instance, we'll make sure that that gets updated here. So if you want to know what's going on with the NRE Labs project from a time perspective, just take a look at the calendar. Next is the resources tab. So this is much more about how do I get more up to speed with NRE as a concept, network reliability engineering as a concept. Maybe I want to know where NRE Labs has been mentioned out on the internet. What are the different videos and blogs that are available to talk about NRE Labs? Maybe some case studies. We have a page dedicated to that. So that's pretty cool. And then finally, again, more links to our documentation, our GitHub organization, as well as back to our community forums if you'd like to go to those. And then finally, we still publish blogs, and we're going to continue to do this. We're actually going to accelerate the pace of publishing blogs because we're probably going to accelerate the pace of curriculum improvements and additions. And so stay tuned here. If you'd like to follow us on this, you can replace, we will soon have a link to the feed if you'd like, but if you want to follow our RSS feed, just replace post with feed, and you'll go to that, and you can follow us there. So that is the quick introduction to the NRE Labs site. If you have any feedback for us, we absolutely welcome it. It's a brand new experience, and so I'm sure there will be wrinkles to iron out. Happy to hear that. Follow us on Twitter at NRE Labs and let us know what you think. Thank you.